go to there and go to here. And let's go to 1979. And it's a film called The Jerk, which is a really, really good film. It's a comedy, primarily written by Steve Martin and partially based on his earlier stand-up work. Steve Martin plays a character, Navin R. Johnson, who's a not particularly bright or sophisticated young man as he leaves his adopted home and embarks upon life in the big world outside. One situation leads to another and another, and he gets a job, for example. He gets rich, he gets poor again, as the adventures get more involved and extreme. And it's a fun film to watch. There's a rich supply of comedy in this film. In 1977, Steve Martin was hugely successful in America and Australia, but not quite so well known in the UK back then. Now, I was living in Australia in 1977. He was everywhere. But when I came back, he was nearly unknown. But in America and Australia and most other places, I think he just didn't catch on in the UK for some reason until quite later. He was looking for ways to prolong his career beyond stand-up and wanted to get into films in the longer term. By the way, in his stand-up, he did a lot of work with a banjo. He's a very, very good banjo player. And now, if you go to YouTube and Google Steve Martin banjo, you'll see what he's doing now. He's not so much doing film acting, not so much doing comedy. He's mainly working with a band playing banjo and also teaming up with Edie Brickell. Very, very good work musically. But anyway, he was looking for ways to prolong his career, and he thought, well, films, that's the way to do it. And he tried writing a proposal for a film back in 1977, which wasn't a screenplay or a script. It was basically based on a premise, a one-liner from his act, and expanded upon from there. And this became a set of notes which he pushed to film studios. Now, despite huge success as a comedian, and he really was top of the pile at that time in America and elsewhere, he was surprised that he couldn't really easily break into films. It wasn't as easy as he thought it would be. The notes ended up being seen by Paramount Pictures president David Picker, and the notes were essentially a sequence of odd jobs that Steve's character would find himself in, which sets up a premise for comedy. Although Paramount didn't go for the proposal, David Picker left Paramount and went to Universal Studios, and at that time he took the proposal with him. And it saw more positive acceptance there. So it enabled Steve Martin to, for example, choose Carl Reiner to direct, and in their meetings, Carl Reiner and Steve Martin fleshed out the film idea for a full film. And now this was 1977, and there was an energy shortage at the time, and there was a petrol shortage, and they had to car share. A lot of people in America in that year had to carpool, and Carl Reiner and Steve Martin would go to the studio every morning in sharing a car, and they tossed around a lot of ideas in on those journeys, and it really helped flesh out the film. A scene at the end, for example, where he says, I don't need anything except this ashtray, except this lamp. That was taken from his stand-up routine, and that was one of the first of the two seed ideas. And it was originally a stand-up thing that he did when he was a stand-up. They were aiming at getting a laugh on each play of the screenplay. Now, if you write comedy screenplays today, that's exactly what you have, a specific arrangement of beats, and you are going to get a laugh every 30 seconds. That's what you're aiming for. But at that time, it was a very formulaic way of doing a comedy, and it worked very, very much worked. So a lot of work went into that screenplay, and I think personally, I think it paid off. I think it's a film with a few deeply funny moments in it. Bill Murray was in it, except his part was cut. When the trailer for the film was made, they got the deputy mayor of a town in America to declare 2 minutes of June the 27th as Steve Martin minutes, and 1,000 people came to see the trailer, the trailer for the film, in a cinema where they were given tiny bags of popcorn meant to last the whole 2 minutes of the trailer. Stanley Kubrick really liked the film. It was one of his favourites. I didn't actually like it at first, but on second and subsequent viewings, I've really come to appreciate the depth of comedy and structure that's in there. Steve Martin, The Jerk, 1979. Have a very good week, everyone. Thank you very much. Goodbye.